Hello guys, having to push myself today because I'm really not wanting to live or come and do what I'm doing, but I have, because at the end of the day it encourages other people to and it gives our youth here in Portsmouth something to feel safe just by somebody that comes out. Like the BMXers are out at the moment, people are keeping to their twos and to their little bubbles and things like that, but the irony is I've just come, well, this morning I went over to Asda and there was one crackhead being detained by the police and searched. But I decided to hover. They changed their attitude, started being quite jovial, had no reason to detain him whatsoever. He went off. And then we're just sitting on the bus. Obviously, what you're noticing is a lot of the police people on the homeless, people on the streets, are feeling very empowered. They're feeling like they actually now feel that they're sort of pretty equal to quite a lot of people, because many people are losing their homes, many people are losing jobs, more and more people are falling out here on the streets. You're seeing more people with bikes and backpacks, and the backpack, and it's not people, backpack travelling. It is genuinely people that either can't stay on their friends' sofas like they once used to. What you've got to remember is, at the end of the day, if everybody mated in the way that we were meant to and had left our fathers and went to our husbands, and our husbands were providers and protectors and the mothers were homemakers, and yes, we have our passions and yes, we have our interests, and fathers engaged with their children. If we had that stability as a country where family came first, family looked after their own families, and then neighbours and communities, we would be quite a functioning sort of nation. But unfortunately, we're not, because we have so much divorce, and then fathers end up living on sofas or at families, or end up having to double up on the bills, having to try and keep things going. And then of course we have the pockets of people that, fathers float on sofas or back and forth to mothers, where, people are on government benefits, and we've got this whole system, and it's completely crazy. And I'm just watching people either losing the plot or feeling very empowered. There's no sort of police activity here in Portsmouth. It's very, very quiet, very silent. It's actually very beautiful. So I'm actually here at where I always come, where I'm hoping to be on the 13th of December. I do have the things around me, but I'm hitting the same hurdles, that I have to have the same paperwork formalities, go through health and safety. We've got the victorious early bird sales coming on the big screen now. So these are all the main offices. So this is the office of the chief executive, which I believe is that one up there, or maybe this one down here. I'm not 100% sure. The first floor here, these are the first floors where sort of people meet for social care and things like that. And then this is like all the tax and parking fees and council tax you pay on the bottom floor. And then I think the first floor is like housing, and then second floor is children's social care, and then I think third floor is adult, and then it goes offices, and then obviously to the main thing, but I'm not 100% sure. Obviously it's also the offices for the staff of the different people, and then of course you've got the Civic Hall, which is what I'm sat in front of at the moment. So this is Portsmouth Guildhall Square. Now usually, I'm hoping you can hear me okay, there is usually an ice rink here every winter. So usually we have a big ice rink here, and that's how Portsmouth has its sort of winter, and it has a little bit of a hub at the top for your beer and things like that. And you go ice skating. But obviously COVID has stopped this, which is silly, because they still could have done it. They could have brought people on in within their own bubbles, their own community. So we've got a little sad Christmas tree here at the moment. I'm assuming there's going to be some form of lights on, but I don't quite know how they're doing. We've got a big keep it going for Portsmouth. Your actions will make a difference, how far or how fast this virus spreads. You can't eliminate and eradicate this virus. And if we continue in the ways that we're going, then obviously we're going to increase testing, which is going to put numbers up of people that have got Corona-19, certificate of vaccination identification. Obviously, you've got this massive mad race of people that are building vaccinations for this. I'm trying to speak with my ex-husband and one of his friends, Gibby, who's a phlebotomist, because I really want to go a little bit more deeper into the vaccination sides, because obviously one of my main concerns is back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, there was a lot of talk about the MRSA being turned into a drug, into a vaccination. And this is actually about DNA that self heals, basically. So basically they're putting like a nanobot in, and it's going into the DNA, and then the DNA is repairing. And for somebody with EDS, it would be quite a good thing. For somebody with my sort of condition, it would be great, but you would have to sit there and work out exactly the frame and size of me. And with all vaccinations as well, you can't just go, like for a baby, you can't put the same drug, hence why we have different strengths of cowpole, different strengths. This is why we have under 6 months old, and then over 6 months old, and then children, teens and adults. Even toothpaste is liquidized in this way, because different bodies, an obesity body, like take anaesthetist for example. So if you're going to be put to sleep, and this is just my thinking and my processing and my way of sort of analysing and looking at what's best for my family and how to look after and protect my family in the middle of complete and utter incompetence. I'm quite happy with Christmas. My boys, my 2 older boys, will be with their family. I'm not quite sure what Liam's doing this year. I think he's quite brainwashed, because obviously he's been told that he'd get fired if he goes and works. And the sad thing is as a hairdresser, my son could literally be just going and cutting people's hair and travelling around. And he could do that and build a very successful, going around to people in need to make sure that they're getting their haircuts and beard cuts and all of that. And he can do that, but because he's still sort of in a job, they are told that they've got to do this and self-isolate. It's the same as people that are at school. You know, if you're in the school education system, then you're getting regular letters and you're getting regular notification. Dean doesn't even discuss this stuff with me. In fact, even during lockdown, I think he's been to Spain twice. He's been all the way up north, all the way down south. And some people can say, oh, wow, that's incompetent because you're spreading a virus. Well, people have spreaded colds, and we've had the flu jabs and things like that for years. I will stand 100% by what I have been saying all of this time, and even though people have been taking little bits of it, I can't say everything. I can say everything to my best of my ability, but I can't say everything, because at the end of the day, my children were taken. I can only see sort of what's going on in sort of like, through sort of certain lives. Now, a lot of people might not understand why I keep going on about snowboarding through the winter. Everybody thinks that most business deals are done on the golf course. They're not. They're done on the snowboarding ramps. They're done in ski places. The biggest conference ever is in Aspen. So basically, over in Aspen, great minds come together and people speak. It's exactly the same as the Success Resources platform that I was on. But when you go to these things, it's like the army. You have to sign a confidentiality agreement. And basically within that, you're saying that you won't take videos, you won't take photographs, you won't release any of the information, because these are basically think tanks. These are inspiration tanks. And if people don't think that they do reaction psychology, of course they do. St. Paul's protest was probably one of the biggest sort of intel things ever, to see who's who and what's what. What they're discussing at the moment, we're on a spending review. People should be, we shouldn't be asking government for money and looking after our health and things like that. We can't look to government to do everything. They're only a small amount of people, and bang up to the MP that stood up to the little old lady today that was arrested. And people are starting to see how we treat people, and I think that's what it's more about. It's about how people are treating people. People don't care, and it's like, I'm even trying to decide what to do about the 13th, and If I discuss it with Dean, he just wants me focused on a normal life. If I discuss it with FEA people, they just want to be all social workers of this and social workers of that. If I discuss it with solicitor people, they're just like, parents are incompetent, blah, blah, blah. And everybody's seeing this all from a different angle. And it's really, really, really sad because it's about personal standards. And like, people don't realise that right now, Elon Musk, what's his name, Benatos or whatever his name is, and a few other people, the people that all came together like in these think tanky things, who have advanced technology in this world. You know, everybody's focused on this big cartel right now. Well, there's other people that have got involved and have grown and have progressed, and I'm looking at all from people who are really excited about going to Mars and going to the moon and being able to open up from Earth and have like trains and rockets that just take you over in the same way you get to London to Bristol on a train. So yeah, so I'm just processing. Anyway, the camera guy's there now, so I'm going to go and do what I do for a bit, and I'm just thinking and wondering what to do. I'm sick and tired of having to do health and safety forms for everything that I do. I can't be arsed with Lisa Bartle. You know, I look forward to just dealing with her within the whole defamation that everything's caused from the day I went out in the papers to Aaron and Faith being taken, to campaigning, to dealing with social. I'll just address it all in the same thing because it all connects as well. And, you know, just keep going. So anyway, I'm going to go and put my headphones on for a bit, think about things, process a couple of things, and go home really and go and spend some time with Dean and the boys and focus on tomorrow because my mum's having the boys for us, and I want to try and get the boys red painted and things like that. I'm running out of money, so I'm hoping things are going to work out this time. I need to make this leap to self-employment again. You know, the likes of Lisa Bartle has a husband that sorts things out, so she needs to get her shit together or she'll be sitting her ass and benefits for the rest of her lives too. I don't want to. I choose to work. If people want to have a go at me about money and things like that, well then come together, pay my rent like XR ask everybody to do in Patriot funds and crowdfunding, or basically pay for my time and service. So the things that I need to do are for me personally. You know, I've been on lockdown for 7 years really. When you have social caretaking your kids, your whole life becomes lockdown, and that's the way it is. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment, and it needs to all come to a massive big halt. We need to turn this entire country around really. Because we are just not coming from a compassion, heart, understanding. It's all overstanding, it's all competitive. There's no co-creation, and you know, people are living in fear, and they don't need to be in fear really. So anyway, I'm going to go and dance down these skates. I'm practicing something at the moment. I can't listen to music and live, unfortunately, so I can't sort of show you and try it. It's more for showing me. It's more me watching it back. I've waited for the best sort of horrible comment, and that came from Lisa Bartle on the website to do with me. So Kelly, it's on my back of my top. So kellycottam.co.uk is mine, but kelly-cottam.com is Lisa Bartle's website on me. And GoDaddy helping and assisting to do it as a court filing, because otherwise she can just keep moving around different platforms. But I actually really like it. It's quite funny having a stalker, and it challenges me, and it gives me an opportunity to see how other people might want to go, and make sure that when I'm in court and people come up with false allegations, that I don't personalise it and I don't get upset about it. And you know, I've battled with suicide for so long that these people used to do it to me. These people used to put me in these places, and I just won't let them do that to me. Do you know what I mean? And I don't think people realise how much since Aaron and Faith were placed with the potential adopters. I think that's when I first, obviously people know, so hence why I've got a double-decker bus, because people know that I literally nearly walked in front of a double-decker bus, and I had some good people around me as I come out of the courts. And then, of course, I've been with Dean ever since, who took me when I was really at probably my lowest, just after Hayden didn't make it out of prison. And, you know, so I just don't let these people get to us, because at the end of the day, that's why people don't do the things that they love, because they live so much to the dogma of other people, the fear of what other people might say, because their mum might not agree or their dad might frown upon it. I'm not telling you to go and be a stripper and an escort. I'm telling you to do what you love. And we do. We have these obstacles. We have to get past these people that ridicule us and criticise us. And the only reason that they do that is because they haven't got the balls to go and do what they love themselves. And they're miserable and they enjoy EastEnders and they enjoy drama. And people will ankle bite at you all the time. So you have to get over it at some point. And, you know, that's what that sort of stuff does for me. It helps me get over it. And, you know, it's not about not giving a shit what people think, because that's really nasty. I do care what people think, but I can't live to people's expectations or criticisms or anything of me, really. What people think of me is none of my business. They can make it my business by creating websites in my name, and of course it becomes personal then, doesn't it? Very much so. It becomes somebody that is hindering and battling with you, but so what? This is what Donald Trump's been talking about in the papers. This is what it's all been about, how people create these personas and things like that. I've got a police officer coming. Oh, now my anxiety's just gone up. I couldn't actually borrow you for 2 seconds if you're not busy. No, I want to find out about my car. Oh, seriously, my stomach's just gone through my thing just with a police officer walking up to me like that. He's obviously looking for somebody. He's not too busy. Oh my goodness. It makes seriously, and it's horrible. It's horrible to live like this, because we should feel safe with people like the police. Seriously, my stomach's just gone into knots, because all I saw was the PO and him coming up and looking at me like that, and it was like, whoa, sod this shit. So, yeah, anyway, before camera crew gets pissed off with me, I'll catch you later.